So to make things clear, this video is not inspired by the Shrek teaser that released a bit ago. I know it's still fresh in everyone's mind, like oh my gosh, how can one ogre be so cool? But on this channel, we don't do things that way. I mean, he's that cool, but you're gonna have to go somewhere else. We're doing something different. This looks fun. It's a medium, not a genre. It's not part-time, it's a lifetime. Hey guys, Baron is back, and who doesn't love a good character design? I mean, if made appealing enough, they can really make someone's day and can possibly become like one of the best things that they could get out of the selective piece of media that they've gained it from. But of course there are also some which can be subjective, dare I say even the not good. So in this video I'm going to be taking 3 main characters from 3 films by the well-known animation studio DreamWorks. I'm going to be saying like which ones I don't really find like the best, or at least most appealing to me, and think could look a little better, while also giving some insight on those films and character designs in total, and even redesigning them, not to like the biggest like standards of its original concept, but I feel like it's gonna be like great for just a better understanding like what makes these designs tick and stuff, and even better understanding myself, and I love myself. So with that being said, we're about to get this started, so hope you're ready. The first character who I'm gonna be handling here is Oscar from Shark Tales. So I'll start things off by saying like the fundamentals of like what I would change. So of course everyone knows that Oscar is kind of not the best looking in the face area. His face looks kind of weird, and they aim to like try and make it more in the arms of realism. And of course realism, especially at the time, was a little uncanny. That's probably very likely, it was very uncanny. And this was one of the examples because his face is all protruding. He looks like he's constantly like in a kiss. And that's not what I want to aim for with this redesign. So I actually do like the idea of making these fish characters as a way to give them like more of a unique look. In order to like give them like the human faces and human attributes thing. Like when it comes to concept, I really like this approach. And the one thing one good thing I could say about these designs, like the way they are in the actual film, is that they do feel unique to this movie. I can't really say that they like really fit into any other world of any of the other DreamWorks movies. But so I thought of a way to like make that better. I would make it like a little smoother, like just make not make it like look like it's sticking out as much. It tries to like mix the human face and the fish face, which is why it like looks all like it's going out so much. So I wanted to make it like push in a little bit, and I wanted to make like the mouth smaller. I wanted to make like just enable the face flatter. I also like add some like little like stuff to like the feet area, like make them a little smaller without like the wide little feet, so it looked a little awkward. I don't really know how to say it, but just something about it just was rubbing me the wrong way. So let's go into like more personal like delve when it comes to like character, like how he impacted me in my life. I remember seeing this movie as a child. I don't remember too much about its experience on me, but I do remember like the characters never like really bothered me. Also the design never really bothered me. And it doesn't bother me now, like none of these designs really are like impossible to look at for me. They're just a little off. They're just kind of off-putting. But I do remember like seeing him, finding it like a little uncanny, and then just went along my way with the movie, which this isn't super great of a film, but I mean it's this far was that the studios made. So this is the design I came up with. I think it does a pretty good job, and I like how simple some of the changes are, and it tells me that's going to be pretty noticeable how simple this changes compared to the next one, which we'll be going to right now. So next on the list of DreamWorks is lesser character designs. We have from Home. I'm aware of this guy's origins, of the story's origins, how it's based off a book, how in the book they had pretty different designs which aimed for being a lot creepier. That's especially the case for who in the film is pretty like goofy looking and stuff. Nothing wrong with goofy characters that are like love goofy. I am goofy, so. But in this scene, I just want to aim more for like the unknown alien approach. I like designs which can really foretell being intimidating, but also goofy when the time comes. Designs like Toothless, Stitch, and many others are really appealing to me for that reason. So I want to try and do that for instead of making like way more on the goofy side. I thought I could aim for a good graph between the both. So one thing I wanted to do is when it comes to like intimidating characters, I think of them as taller. Is that like being, because of course towering over you, you feel like more powerless to them if you were on the bad side. So try to make taller in that case. One thing I also wanted to do is a little weird thing with the mouth area. Instead of like it being like all open where you can easily see like grin from it, I wanted the outfit that in particular wears to look more like a cloak, where like the upper half of his like jaw, along with like of course the head side of that, would be protruding from the jacket, or the lower jaw appears invisible. But actually when it comes to like that specifics, I thought of another way I can take that in a similar approach, but more interesting to me, where I would have it so like the bottom mouth is sort of like part of the outfit, so it's like some sort of like special like type of like flesh which is supposed to work as clothing. And I thought it was like hey, we might have something here that sounds weird. Probably wouldn't get picked up in the actual film, but I mean, it works in this context, but let's do it. So, and before we get to that, I'm going to talk about like my experience with when I was a child. So I thought he looked absolutely fine. I didn't really have any, probably the design I like felt the like least like problems with. Probably the one that I have least problems with now, but who knows, as a child you think of different things, you like dumber. And this guy, he was just okay. He was around, he just didn't really leave an impact on me. I feel like this new one is a lot more interesting in my opinion. And so I hope you guys find that one cool, because now we're getting to one which feels like it could be a lot more personal to me. We'll see. So last on the list, and the inspiration for it at that, would be RJ from Over the Hedge. And I know what y'all are thinking, like, wouldn't the Aquafina character make more sense from Aquafina 4? Like, why are you wasting your time on this? And I'm like, listen, is what it's still to me. Maybe I'll get to in some other video, but can you please just let me cook right now? Trust me, you won't be disappointed. It is very personal to me, as something just about RJ's design just didn't sit well with me for as long as I can remember. I remember when I was like very young, seeing this movie, and just something about it, just even when I was that young, wasn't really sitting right with me, specifically around the face area. And after a bit of thinking, I figured it out. I don't like how small his face is. I get why it's supposed to be that way, or why they like chose to design it that way. He's supposed to be a raccoon. He's supposed to be like conniving, sneaky-ish, and like making the face scrunch makes him look more like someone would hide. That's basic character design, like philosophy, and I appreciate it and I understand it. But I feel like there was just a different way of handling that a bit, and considering how sneaky-ish, how like perfect raccoon designs can be for making a sneakier character, I feel like there's some pretty other alternative ways like make it look that way. Another thing that like makes this more personal to me, or at least something that I'm more passionate about, is that like for people who don't know, there's a comic of the same name that was actually the inspiration or like source material for the Over the Hedge movie called Over the Hedge, the comic series, and I really enjoy it, and it's still going. If you wanna check it out, trust me, the stuff in there is pretty spicy, if you know what I mean. And when it comes to like the comics designs, I really like RJ's, along with the other two, who I might as well mention, look pretty good in the new 3D design. It's just RJ's who just feels a bit off with me. And so one thing which the comic design does is that like has his design like doesn't feature his eyes as low, and his face is a little more open. I also like this little thing that it does with the mouth, as his like mouth is like hidden by a bunch of his like big nose stuff. I really find that appealing. I think it's like a pretty great design choice for sneaky or conniving characters, and I wanted to portray that in the new RJ design. So probably the most subtle of the design changes, but it just works for me really well. I raised the eyes as I made it so it's more like the eyebrow thing, which raccoons would happen to wear, along with just elements from like live action. I don't know why I said that. Why did I say that? 3D design like choice of having his hair like stand out a little more, and I'll like emphasize like just more of a like rugged, more the outdoorsy type. So along with that, I also made it so, like I said in the comic, they had that thing with the nose where like the nose guy covered the mouth a bit, unless they're doing like more like noticeable, more important like facial motion. So I would also like have it so the mouth was like hidden by the upper nose, and that's it. That's like the main thing I like wanted to change from the special movie, along with elements from the comic book, and I think it works pretty well in my opinion. And yeah, this is what I came up with, and I guess we're gonna be moving on to the ending now. So that was me taking 3 main characters and changing up their designs a bit. I like how it came out, and I hope you did too. If you want to see more, you can like and subscribe, and I recommend watching some of my other videos if you like this one, because I feel like they appeal for like the same audience. And with that being said, you'll be catching this artist later. Where do I start when I open my heart? It's never easy falling in love again. Cover my scars when I open my arms. It's never easy falling in love again.